Hey everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto, and here's today's news. There's a lot going on, a hell of a lot, right? So I'm gonna try to zip through this as quickly as I can and get to the numbers because we're still doing well. Polygon already on a tear, with the latest news being Disney. Well, the latest news is now about their new zkEVM, which is a new scaling solution using zero-knowledge cryptography. They're supposedly the first to be doing this, and it should add an incredible amount of speed and scalability to Ethereum. Now, I want you to take a step back. The reason why they created this is to step up their game against Visa's transaction speeds. That's right, straight up against credit cards. So that's a very big deal because that means that the transaction at the register would happen faster. But if you look at my previous video in my Education 101 section, you'll actually see that this is actually a bigger deal than you think. The credit card transaction seems like it happens at the register, but it's not done just because the customer walks out with the goods. That's not when the transaction's complete. Transaction's complete after the threshold is met for the person to be able to return the goods back to the store or otherwise dispute the goods. That can take a long time. Whereas this transaction could happen within minutes or even seconds in some cases. So pay attention to this. It's a really good thing that this is happening because that says that adoption for crypto could be, mass adoption for crypto could be just around the corner. Now, I've been saying for a while, the SEC has been using very heavy-handed techniques in, managing or mismanaging the Cryptoverse. Well, the bill that I told you about back in June, I think it was June 9th, that bill introduced by Senators Lummis and Gillibrand says that they would give the authority to the CFTC. Well, that would mean that, all this heavy-handed nonsense by Gary Gensler and the SEC would basically come to a halt. Now, it doesn't mean that, the SEC has no involvement in that future. However, it would give the massive jurisdiction to the CFTC. Now, that said, that would call into question every court case that's currently in process. Just saying. It will also bring a lot of decisions to the forefront about what's going on in the cryptoverse, right? ETFs, all that stuff. Anyway, we're going to have to wait to see if that happens. But I thought that was actually big news that there's a possibility that that bill could hit the floor this year. That's kind of a big deal to me. The U.S. in a really good move. I mean, I know it's not a lot of money. I mean, I wish I had an extra $500,000, but the U.S. has seized $500,000 in money and assets stemming from a ransomware attack or a few ransomware attacks. The FBI was notified within 72 hours, according to the new law passed by, signed by, wow, my English this morning, signed by President Biden this year in March. Makes it so that any company identified as being a part of critical infrastructure has to report any kind of ransomware attack or payments to the FBI. Well, because of all this influx of information, the FBI was able to identify a new kind of ransomware attack. It also led to them getting back that $500,000, and they should be returning that $500,000 pretty soon to the companies that actually got it stolen. That also says that I think there's going to be major headway going forward with going after North Korea a little bit more directly, right? I'm happy to see that. Now, something else to pay attention to, and it's not the first time that I brought this to your attention. It's about fake airdrops. Okay, if you get notice about about an airdrop, corroborate that across different sources so that you can determine whether or not it's real. Influencer Zeneca had their social media accounts hacked, and they were able to use those social media accounts to promote a fake airdrop involving PREMINT. Now think about that. You have an influencer that carries a certain amount of trust with that, and using those accounts, we're able to talk about this, fake airdrop and get that news out there. That's a big deal. Again, when you're doing your own research, DYOR, Make sure you're getting corroborating evidence or stories from other sources so that you're not reliant on a single source. News travels fast in the cryptoverse, so it shouldn't be that long before somebody else picks up a real story. And be mindful of any social media accounts that you might be paying attention to. Okay? Be very mindful. If something seems out of the blue, it probably is. So that's a very big deal. Be mindful of your money. Now, the overall market, again, toward, DYOR and doing your own research, just because the market is up, and you can take this for the stock market, you could take this for the cryptoverse. I really mean it for the cryptoverse, though. Just because the market is up doesn't mean that everything is a buy. Okay? You should be doing even more research into these projects, because a lot of these coins are just following on the coattails of a Polygon, of an Ethereum, of a Bitcoin, of whatever other coins really are making moves. Do your own research, because just because somebody's on the uptick doesn't mean that they should be upticking with your money. A friend of mine, David, what's up, Dave? Asked me to do some research on this project Meta-XS. Never heard of it. Just said, all right, let me do some quick research. As soon as I hit their website, he sent me a link to their website. As soon as I hit the website, I wasn't told that, oh, this is the best project in the world. This is what the project is all about. No, please give us money. Dead serious. Two buttons on the screen with please give us money. If you want to do it via a crypto transaction, click here. If you want to do it via credit card, click here. I wasn't clicking shit. Then it had this fake news report right next to it. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. The worst green screens on these videos, and you're not telling me anything about the project. I stopped there. There's no reason to go any further. No reason whatsoever. If you're not telling me about your project right up front, I don't want to hear about it then. I don't want to hear about it. Put what you're doing right up front. What are you all about? Who is involved? Didn't see any names. So I was just, nope. So I went back to Dave and I was like, listen, your friend gave you this information? He was like, yep. Check this out. Friends don't invite friends to join in getting fleeced. Dead serious. And he cracked up. I was like, yeah, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm sorry, I'm from New York. That's just a common saying. But all jokes aside, yeah, no. You think you found something? Can you tell me what it's about? No, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it. I'd rather hear about you painting your toenails. Seriously, that's like the dumbest thing. If they cannot explain to you what this project is all about, and they're just hitting you with numbers, oh, it went from this to this in only a couple of hours. Stop there. Nope, not this guy. Nope, not today. Anyway, let's get to the numbers, because that's actually going to be a lot of fun to look at the numbers, and I'll start to tell you about why I tell you to do your own research. Now, you can see that this is fairly recent. I refreshed the screen like about 5 minutes ago, just before I shot the short video. This is really good, and it's nice. You have Doge going up about 10%. You've got, I don't know Coin. I haven't done any research on them. But here's the biggest, baddest boy of the bunch. Here's Bitcoin up 8%, right? Who else was at the top? Polymath, nope, wouldn't pay attention to them. All right, those are the only ones that I really want to pay attention to. Obviously, on the downside, not much going on. So if there's somebody on the downside, you should be looking at them and scratching your head. But again, my 5% rule. If it hasn't moved, greater than 5%, I'm probably not going to pay attention to it, only because that's, normal to me. That's within normal volatility for the cryptoverse, right? Now, there are retail numbers coming out, but there are no big, economic numbers coming out. And look at that, up 1. I know it doesn't mean a lot, but it's up 1. It means we're fully in just fear. Before, we were living down here for the past few weeks. We were living in extreme fear. Now we're just living in fear. Doesn't it feel good to breathe again? Oh my gosh. Just saying. DeFi Llama, yeah, this is up $10 billion in a week. $10 billion in a week. Not something I'm paying attention to just right now, but I know this is going to be a burgeoning space. So I pay attention to the numbers only because I know it's going to be a burgeoning space. Bitcoin, do you see this? Let me see if I can bring this over for you. Look at that. Here are my inner bands. My inner band is right here, bouncing right here. It broke out, it started nibbling on the inner band a little while ago and then busted out. As you know, everything's up, and then busted out of my outer band. Now, I'm not removing these bands anytime soon. Again, I need to see that sustained number above 22,000 for a while. Give me a week, give me 2 weeks, and then I'll start to believe again. I'll start to believe that, hey, we're really in a bull market as opposed to a bull trap, right? So I'm just waiting. I'm happy. Now, if I see too much of a downward trend, I am going to skim some cash. Why? Because I can, right? I'm in the green. If I have something that's in the green, I have different wallets holding different things. If I'm in the green, I'm going to skin some of that and call it profit, because it's not a loss and it's not profit unless you take it. All right. Now you can look at this. Oh, this you know about this screen. It usually takes a minute. That was pretty fast. Do you see BTC nibbling on 24,000? Do you see how close that is? It's possible. It's possible. And here you have even crypto.com is going up. SHIB is going up. I'm happy about SHIB. I'm really happy about SHIB. I'm happy to be at a point where I'm like, yo, man, I'm all right. A couple of bucks there. Cardano is up. Doge is up. Doge is up a lot. So you could have gotten Doge, I think, at like 6.8 cents. Now it's at 7.3. It sounds crazy, but that's money. Depending on how much money you're playing with, that's money. You could have, not for nothing, you could have been playing Doge for a while. It's hit 7.1 cents a couple of times over the past, couple of weeks. You could have been buying low, selling high, buying low, selling high, just playing that bounce. The rhythm of it had given you a pretty good idea of that bounce. I don't know really why it's up right now. I mean, okay, a court date was set for Elon and Twitter, but really? I mean, what does that have to do with Doge? So I don't know why it's really up. Again, I'm looking at when I do my own research, I'm looking at why these particular coins are up. Ethereum has something to talk about. Bitcoin has something to talk about. Cardano has a little something to talk about. Matic has a lot to talk about. So when I look at this, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, pay attention to the coins and projects that don't have anything to talk about, because those are not real bumps up. If they're riding the coattails, those are not real bumps up. So pay attention to that, right? And to see it in the list, again, I'm looking across as many numbers as I can. So we've got the 1 hour, 24 hour, 7 day, 30 day, 90 day, and year to date. I'm looking across all of this. And I haven't said it before, but I'll say it now. This is what I'm really paying attention to. The hope is that the year to date gets better. Is that the year to date eventually hits green. That's what I'm really looking for. So you have Polygon at 91 cents. With that news today about their zkEVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine is what that stands for. That new scaling solution, whoa. If it can bring that kind of scale. Now think about this. Ethereum moves to proof of stake faster, cheaper, far more energy efficient. They move to that, everything gets faster, everything gets cheaper. And then you still have Polygon as this layer 2 scaling solution that can bring speeds that could possibly be comparable to Visa's speeds, because that's been one of the criticalities. Let me see if I can find that quote by Mihailo Bjelic. Please, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. If I have, I owe you a beer or some water, whichever one you prefer, or some wine. I like wine. His statement was, give me a moment, the holy grail of Web3 infrastructure should have 3 major properties: scalability, security, and Ethereum compatibility. Something else that he said is that you need to have scale and you need to have capacity. And that's what zkEVM and their zero knowledge cryptography is supposed to bring to the table. I'm all about it. I'm all in. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.